everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Christina Ellison at Homeschooling Grace. Today I wanted to go over with you our homeschool choices for the 2019-2020 school year for my first grader. I've so far done my fourth grader, and I did a walkthrough of our pre-K program that we use. The pre-K video that I'll put a link for up here doesn't state that it's a curriculum choice, but it is what we are using for my 4-year-old this year. So let's get started with my first grader. The core curriculum for my first grader is My Father's World First Grade, Learning God's Story. So let me start out at week 1. Here we go. So we're actually to week 6 when I'm shooting this, but I am behind sharing this. So anyways, I'm gonna walk right through what she will be working on this year. To start out with, we're going to do Bible and history. So for the beginning, her Bible is this My Big Book of 5-minute devotions. And they're really easy devotions that all have to do with animals and celebrating God's world, it says. I'll show you a sample of a picture. Here's some bats. And with this right now, this also goes along with her, I guess, read aloud. Is this animals? So this doesn't have to do with Bible, but let's say we were doing bats from here. I would find one about bats from in here. And then we would do the poem, and then she could draw pictures. So this goes with art, it goes with Bible, I feel like. Maybe some science. I don't know if any of the poems are really for science, but it's very interchangeable, I feel like. So that's what we do for that. She'll eventually move on to her Bible reader here. And this is how she will be learning to read more. And it's not the complete Bible, but it's a lot of the stories from the Bible, I should say, that she'll read through all this year. And along with that will be her Bible notebook. So my oldest did this when she was in first grade. And so it's really nice because we then have pictures to go along with all of that she learned through the Bible and little summaries or sentences about it. So it's a really sweet memory to look back on what she learned in first grade. So that will be later in the year for history and Bible. And one last part to that, I'll put a link up here, but this will be our timeline. They normally have you do it up on a wall, My Father's World, but I made a book, and I made a video of how I made this, so this one's not even complete yet. I haven't even put a line or anything, but we'll be using this as well. Okay, so moving on to reading and language arts. So for reading and language arts, she'll be working through this student workbook. And so here's an example. You know, she'll learn to recognize the vowels and if it's short or long, and it actually progresses really quickly, but she's doing pretty well with it. So that, along with that My Father's World doesn't recommend, but I'm going to share with you. And again, this is our curriculum choices, so this is what we use. So these are the Ziggy Zebra games from All About Reading, or All About Learning Press, I think. Anyways, I got these from Rainbow Resource, but these are really cool little file folder games. And I think you get 13 in the book. But they're just really nice. You know, I've got all her little pieces here, and then it gives the instructions. And this has helped tremendously, these games, with practicing her reading, because it makes it so much more fun. This isn't even all of them. And I just looked on their website actually, because I get the All About Learning emails, and they actually have games that you can download for free of different file folder games. And I just downloaded one. I haven't printed it yet because I don't have a color printer right now, or I'm out of color printer ink, I should say. So but they have an option to print it in black and white, so I need to do that. Anywho, but it'll be a fun new game. It's about pirates, I think. So check that out if for free, and then you can see if you really would want to do this for your family. And that's not sponsored. For math, they recommend the Complete Book of Math. And they're just, it's pretty much just like a book that you would get from Costco, I think. It's just a complete book of math for first grade. And so the book will recommend like certain pages for each day. So what I did is I actually wrote like what weeks for each page, because sometimes you'll use it more than 1 week if it's one that is like a reusable one. And in the past, the last time I did first grade, I threw it all away, the pages, and then I was like, oh no, or I couldn't find it. But this way, I can file that page away for the next week that we'll need it for, since I now have it all labeled out. Along with it, you get your Unifix cubes. You get, we use the Unifix cubes, and this is nice because it comes with a little book, and like when you're starting out with patterns. So we've been using this, and then we'll eventually start using these horizontal flashcards for addition and subtraction. So along with that is the pattern animals. So I gotta be honest, we haven't even pulled this out yet for this year, and we're 6 weeks in. So it's fun patterns, but for some reason, I think we get to the end of the day and it's not happening. But she has fun just free playing with these, which really, that's plenty fine, I think. And they have a lot of games that you can do where you like hide them in a bag or something. So she likes that. Okay, and lastly for math, what we're doing is they have like a number of the day. So we're doing that along with calendar, and we have a bean cup and a coin cup. I can show you those. So this is our her coin cup. I think these are from IKEA. Yep. So, you know, she's got her coins in there. And then we've got, I just wrote for ones is this, and you can see it says tens up here. I normally have a thing hanging here, but it was like a lot was in it. I was like, this is kind of busy. That has our 10 sticks. So I do let them I let her use the glue gun, which is exciting. When she completes 10 days of school, then she gets to hot glue the beans onto the popsicle stick. So that makes it really fun. Okay, so that's it for math. So far we've gone over Bible and history, reading and language arts, in math. So now, lastly, are just either science, music, and art, or art appreciation, I guess. Okay, so for music this year, we'll be going through Peter and the Wolf. I also have a book that I ordered through Rainbow Resource, and I'll put the link up here for that. It's, if you're looking for like what My Father's World recommends, they don't add that, but I just wanted the book to go with it. So we'll do Peter and the Wolf, and it also has Young Person's Guide to the Orchestra and Carnival of the Animals, which I saw recently on Pinterest. I think you can print out coloring pages of all the animals in Carnival of Animals. And so as you learn a new one, or as she learns a new one, will be, I'll have her color it. So I'm gonna add that also to her curriculum. Okay, for art, she'll be going through Drawing with Children. She'll be doing Drawing with Children. This isn't my favorite book, but we're getting through it. I'm not being a perfectionist about it. Like, we're just kind of using whatever markers we have or colored pencils. I found some fine point markers from the Dollar Tree, but they're not super fine point, but they're fine. I'm not really that particular about it this year. So she's enjoying this, so that's good. Okay, so for art appreciation, she'll be doing Enjoying Art Together. I really like this. And I don't know if you could, I think this is only through My Father's World, but you get really cool pictures of art, and then it talks all about it. So we'll probably do this at lunchtime, so all my kids can be part of it. And I think that's what we did in the past, actually. And it's kind of a fun one. And then, you know, if they want, they can try and do the art themselves. And then lastly, for the activities section is science. And so we have science with plants, things outdoors, and science with water. So these are nice ones. We normally will just like read, and we might do the experiment, but sometimes lately it's been difficult because we just run out of time. On Fridays is actually our co-op, and so a lot of times we end up going to co-op and not getting our experiments done. And at our co-op, we tend to do science experiments, so it's not necessarily that it's that important, I feel like, this year to get the experiments done. Okay, so for read alouds, we're doing, again, animals. So this is kind of interchangeable between the lessons, I guess. So the poems from this, and then this year I'm really excited about this new book that they came out with, Tales from Cherry Lane. We'll be reading through this. I just think that art's really sweet. I think my girls will be excited to read these stories. And also, this comes with Honey for a Child's Heart, which I love that book. I go through it over and over again, like adding, or not adding, but like checking off books that we've gotten or books that I really want to get, or, you know, just keeping track of books that I want to make sure that we do read. So that is a great resource if you're looking for read alouds for your family. And so that is also what they recommend, and that's what we're using to get our books read aloud this year. Okay, one last part to go along with the read alouds is they have an extensive book list in the back that we use, and I will check off from there too, along with Honey for a Child's Heart. And the book list from here is just for math and science, I believe. And so we'll add those in to go with these. At lunchtime we typically read those, and so all my kids can hear those ones. And I also forgot to add for reading language arts, not only is it the student workbook, but it's also student sheets that I don't have an example of right now, but she'll use those too. So, okay, lastly, for her own personal read alouds, I may start having her go through these ones. And I also have level 2, so I may just have her use these for practice reading. We haven't started it yet, but I think she's definitely probably ready for these. As I say this, she's actually already read through almost all this one, the first one. And she's learned more words from it, so she could definitely do this. Okay, so now I'm going to stack up everything so that you can see everything that she will be using this year. Okay, ta-da! First grade! Yahoo! So that is quite the pile. It's not too bad. In, 34 weeks, give or take. And really, you have a full year. Let's be honest. There's 365 days in a year, and you can use every single one of them if you need to. If I need to, I should say. So yeah, so this is what we'll be using this year for my first grader. And like I said, we're already 6 weeks in. I will say this is kind of a hard year, learning to read. It moves very quickly, but she's doing great, and I think she's having fun. We do lots of rewards and candy if needed to get through those tough reading lessons. Definitely. Okay, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope this video gave you some ideas of what to use for your homeschool this next year. And we're really excited to keep going, and I think it's going to be a fun year and a hard year, but it's going to be fun. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and you can push the subscribe button down below to see more videos like this, and I hope to see you at the next video. All right, thanks. Bye-bye.